biggest reason the Eagles lost. A.J. Brown is correct.
Correct. You're correct that A.J. Brown is correct.
There is something wrong with the offense. Yeah. There is just something wrong with it. And their total inability to put together 4 straight quarters. Only the Titans have more scoreless halves this season than Philadelphia. We have shown you repeatedly their 3-and-outs and the drives that end in punt list, which we could show you again. Again, the only team in the league that's going 3-and-out 30% of the time. And look at the quarterbacks on that other, the rest of it. The drives ending in a punt. Again, you go to where Philadelphia is, and you look at the court. It's this. Eagles drive is as likely in a punt as a Titans drive this year. Now, in fairness, a lot of those Titans drives that don't end in punts, they end in turnovers.
Hey.
No, but still, like that's jarring. And the fact that they were that good on the first 3 drives, and then not only that inept, but that conservative. It was like I thought the end of the half was a real signifier that part of what's wrong with this Eagles offense is the person most in charge doesn't, for some reason, fully trust his quarterback. Because to not try to, you clearly trust Jake Elliott's leg. You had him kick a 56-yarder later. His rationale on giving up with 18 seconds left from right around the 30 was, the Cowboys kicker has a big leg. We want to leave him time. The math doesn't work on that. You know what I like? With 48 seconds left, it's actually more defensible.
Just stop. Please, just stop. The level of reality distortion we are witnessing is truly staggering. This game serves as further proof that the coaching staff lacks faith in the run game, not the quarterback. You had the quarterback drop back to pass 39 times. The team managed a paltry 4 first downs on the ground. 3 of those were directly attributable to Jalen Hurts himself, who took matters into his own hands, audibling at the line and leveraging his athleticism to find the end zone. And let's be clear, it wasn't a quarterback sneak. So, can we please cease with this absurd narrative? Once again, Jalen Hurts was forced to be the team's leading rusher. The team's total rushing output was a miserable 30 yards. 30. And that's not including Hurts' own contributions, who amassed over 300 total yards of offense, completed nearly 70% of his passes, and accounted for 3 total touchdowns. Just stop. End this nonsense. This is a foundational problem rooted in the offensive line's performance and the coaching philosophy. That is the unequivocal truth. To suggest anything else is ludicrous. Your personal distaste for Jalen Hurts does not justify constantly trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It's preposterous. It is utterly preposterous. Your primary conclusion from this contest somehow revolves around Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts showed up and delivered in this game. Jalen Hurts performed at a high level. He is not the issue. On the initial 3 touchdown drives, when the scheme provided him with open receivers, did he locate them? Did he execute? Did the offense score? Was it successful? Were yards gained? Unquestionably, yes. Now, what about the sequences when no one managed to get separation? What about when Jalen Hurts had no time to operate? There were even instances where he had sufficient protection, but was left scanning the field with nowhere to go with the football, just waiting in vain for a route to develop. There was one particular completion to Devonta Smith that took an eternity to unfold. Hurts was fortunate to have the time to allow it to develop. The fundamental problem is they cannot establish a ground game. They are literally incapable of running the football effectively. As I detailed in my post-game analysis, the Eagles running backs produced the fewest rushing yards of any team this week and the lowest number of rushing first downs. And your grand takeaway is that the head coach doesn't trust Jalen Hurts? Do you have any concept of how insane that sounds? Recall the Super Bowl. 4th down. The opening drive against the Kansas City Chiefs. They entrusted Jalen to launch a pass 40 yards downfield. What are you even talking about? Stop the nonsense. To seal a victory against the Minnesota Vikings, they trusted Jalen to throw the football, precisely because he has been so careful with it. What do you mean there's no trust? Jalen Hurts is currently protecting the football better than any other signal caller in the league. The confirmation bias at play here is suffocating. It is deafening. I am drowning in it. Use whatever metaphor you prefer. It is utterly ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Is it Jalen Hurts' fault that the place kicker missed a field goal? Is it Jalen Hurts' fault that Saquon Barkley put the ball on the ground? Is it Jalen Hurts' fault that the running backs collectively managed 22 yards? That's all supposedly Jalen Hurts' fault? Notice how A.J. Brown was actually getting open in this matchup. Notice how Jalen Hurts was actually getting him the football. Go figure. But also notice that A.J. Brown, I believe, had only a single contested target. And lo and behold, he actually received the ball. Shocking, right? He didn't haul in that one, surprise, surprise. Now consider George Pickens. 4 contested targets, and he caught all 4. That seems pretty effective to me. Devonta Smith was 1 for 3 on contested throws. CeeDee Lamb was 1 for 3. It's really so ridiculous. It truly is. We are just running in circles. We just keep going in endless circles. It is so mentally draining. It really is. It absolutely is. And then there is an attempt to gaslight the audience to pretend that people weren't already concerned about this offense. I communicate with Philadelphia Eagles supporters in the comment section every single day, and they have been consistently stating, we can't run the ball. The offensive line isn't performing. They have been clamoring for the dismissal of offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo since approximately the second week of the season. So I am utterly perplexed as to what angle is being pursued here, other than a desperate search for a method to assign blame to A.J. Brown, or to critique the decision not to push the ball downfield with 18 seconds remaining, a decision that Tom Brady himself endorsed as making perfect sense. Speaking of which, did you hear Tom Brady praise and defend Jalen Hurts throughout the entire broadcast? He did. Did you catch him saying, people claim this offense is simplistic? I don't see it that way at all. Jalen Hurts is making full field progressions. He's operating a sophisticated offensive system. Interesting. This is an offensive line and coaching dilemma. They held a lead and then proved utterly incapable of running the ball to sustain it. But somehow it's about Jalen Hurts. Let's also not overlook the penalty situation, which was completely out of control. 14 penalties. A significant number were on offense, and they systematically destroyed any and all momentum. Jalen Hurts made several monumental throws and plays that were entirely nullified due to flags. His passing yardage would have comfortably exceeded 300 if just one of those penalties had not been called, particularly the deep completion to Dallas Goedert. That single play would have substantially altered the statistical landscape. The running back carries amounted to 10 attempts for 22 yards. Tank Bigsby had 1 carry for 8 yards. Why he isn't utilized more frequently is a mystery to me. I genuinely do not know. I also do not comprehend why there isn't a more concerted effort to involve Dallas Goedert and even Julio Jones in the passing attack. Saquon Barkley should not be the third leading receiver. His skill set is not analogous to Christian McCaffrey's in that regard. The team has not demonstrated any consistent ability to get the ball to Saquon in open space and allow him to work. It just hasn't been a successful part of their scheme. As I mentioned post-game, the one thing Kevin Patullo does appear to execute effectively is designing interesting concepts for the tight ends. Fantastic. Then do more of that. Expand on that. A.J. Brown finished with 10 targets and 8 receptions. Devonta Smith was the receiver who faced most of the contested coverage, securing 6 catches for 89 yards on 11 targets. Saquon Barkley had 7 receptions on 8 targets, many of which were simple checkdowns. Dallas Goedert was 2 for 2 on his targets. Again, he would have had a much more significant stat line if not for the penalty that wiped out a likely 20 or 30-yard gain on a play where the infraction for illegal formation had no actual bearing on the outcome, yet it still cost them. Saquon fumbled. The defense dropped a potential interception on Dak Prescott. There could have been multiple picks in that game. It was a hard-fought, physical divisional battle, and you lost. It is not an indictment of Jalen Hurts. To attempt to twist the narrative to suggest otherwise is absolutely insane. It's actually just embarrassing at this stage. But these are simply my reflections. I would be tremendously interested to hear your own. What do you all believe was the primary reason the Philadelphia Eagles lost this game? Let me know your perspectives in the comments section below. I read every single comment. So, whether you find yourself in agreement or in vehement opposition, let's engage in some dialogue. Let's have some spirited debates. But ultimately, let's ensure we are enjoying the process. And please, do consider subscribing. We are in the process of cultivating a fantastic community here and would absolutely adore having you as a part of it. My goal is to build something to which we all feel a genuine connection, something we are genuinely thrilled to be involved with. I believe we are making significant progress toward that objective. Also, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely assists with its visibility within the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much for your time.